but more so they just don't like that team in black and silver. Dan Reese admitting he's never liked them, he hates them, and has kept no secret in that regard. Out come Blake Ezor from Michigan State, breaks away from a tackle or two and hustles out to the 27-yard line. And here come the Broncos and John Elway. Elway an off-season for him. And he has a patchwork line in front of him today. Darrell Hamilton and Dave Wydell, a whole new left side with Perry defecting and Juriga injured. Karts at center, a good one. Wydell and Lanier. There's two Wydell brothers starting 5 front. Elway with Porter, an ex-Raider, and Bobby Humphrey, McTeal and Young, the wide receivers, and Clarence Gay, the tight end. Those men go out when they go 4 wide. Winder into the backfield. Vance Johnson and Mark Jackson, the usual starters, but both are injured and did not practice much all week, but can play today. Porter flanked way out to the left side in this set. Elway guns over the middle, wide open. It's Clarence Kay to the 49-yard line. The tight end has the first down.
They took advantage, Dick, of Ricky Ellison fighting on a running play. Robinson, number 57, is going to play outside the tight end position. There's the fake. You see Ellison, number 50, move way over, wide open. They had planned this. Elway spoke of it. Even Dan Reeves spoke of this as the one key he had for this game. The problem is they can't do that play after play. Only 1 or 2 of those a game. Beautifully executed.
12th catch of the year for Kay, who's had some problems hanging on to all the balls thrown at him. First down at the 49. Bobby Humphrey, third in the NFL in rushing, and he has about 4 on that carry against a tough team against the rush, the black and silver Raiders, and here they are. Howie Long, Bob Golick, Scott Davis, Greg Townsend, a tough front 4. The backers, Robinson, Ellison, and Benson, veterans all. McDaniel and Washington at the corners, former Bronco Mike Harden, and Eddie Anderson at safety. When they go to their nickel, those 2 linebackers go out, and 2 extra defensive backs, rookie from North Carolina, Torrin Dorn, and Jerry Lewis come in. There's veteran Bob Golick on the nose of Keith Hart, underrated, but one of the fine centers in the league for Denver. Second down and 6. Humphrey again finds room outside. Good move. And he's to the 34, a first down. Eddie Anderson with a tackle.
Lionel Washington was there to make the stop, number 48, and he had the tackle, but Humphrey showed why he's one of the leading rushers in the NFL. When he breaks outside, you see the trap by Wydell. Now watch him breaks outside, and he makes Washington miss. Washington, one of the better support men in the league.
12 yards on that carry. Humphrey, who started brilliantly this year, the Alabama All-America, and then in the last 6 games since his sprained ankle, you see his production about half.
You know, that is indicative of the entire team, isn't it, Dick? His performance, Elway's, everyone else's.
Big hole on that draw up the middle, and Humphrey is to the 23-yard line, and it appears another first down.
They came into this game with a beautiful plan. They're executing everything perfectly. Elway takes and just hands off to a draw, and Golick moves way to the outside, and Clark simply turns him to that side. Ellison stepped the wrong way, a huge hole. The Raiders are going to have to adjust to what Denver's doing. A lot of these plays aren't the time you're going to continue to use throughout the game.
This is having that extra time off after the Thanksgiving Day game to put some extra material in. Humphrey again in another good hole. Closes in a hurry at the 20-yard line. After a pickup of 3, veteran Jerry Robinson, 57 with a tackle. Humphrey with 31 yards already on this drive.
Dave Wydell playing his first game, pulled and he trapped Ricky Ellison beautifully.
They're the top rushers starting today. Butts of San Diego, Thomas of Buffalo, and Humphrey of Denver, all AFC runners. And now Humphrey just a handful of yards away from the 900-yard mark.
The Raiders aren't used to seeing a trapping style of offense. Kansas City last week used no traps. And at this point, the trapping is bothering this team.
Another carry for Humphrey. Cuts back inside, and a flag goes down. Thrown by the umpire, and that usually means against the offense. And here's a little fracas. As these 2 teams, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the uniforms, if something brings the blood pressure up when the Raiders and the Broncos meet. Even Howie Long, who says, you know, I hate the 49ers, but I must admit that everyone is right when they say that these 2 teams just basically don't like each other.
They openly talk about the rivalry over so many years, especially here in Denver, because Denver has a home field advantage. but the Raiders tend to come up here and play great football. Last year, when the Raiders were down, they came up here and played very well.
Holding against Denver is the call. Reeves, by the way, is 9-9 against the Raiders in his career here in Denver, and he's 5-3 at home.
Well, both clubs seem to do well if they're having a bad season.
76 offense, 10 yards penalty, replay the second down.
If they're having a bad season, they'll still play well because of the rivalry.
Ken Lanier with a hold, and then that provoked some post-whistle activity.
There's a little action.
Benson.
Once they grab those face masks, now that's supposed to be an automatic penalty once anyone grabs it during the play or after.
So second and long for Denver. Another draw to Humphrey. Oh, he squirts through the hole and gets to the 23.
I think the Raiders didn't even see that play. They were so busy pass rushing that Humphrey just slipped right through him.
Mark Jackson, number 80, and Vance Johnson, 82. The regulars at wide receiver come in. Saw Kay go out along with Bobby Humphrey as the 4 wide receivers for Dan Reeves on 3rd and 9.
Now, this shouldn't be a great matchup. This should not be a great matchup for Denver because the Raiders do have excellent corners. Denver has 2 very young linemen on the left side. The Raiders have a great pass rush.
Oops, and there's Wydell making the mistake. Dave Wydell, he's 1 year older than brother Doug. Both played high school ball in Hartford. Both played with the Boston College Eagles.
This is where the heat's really on, Dick. These young linemen, Hamilton and Wydell on the left side, they've got Townsend and Davis to deal with. Scott Davis. 2 excellent pass rushers who are very physical. So this is the mismatch when Denver has to throw. Dave Wydell and Darrell Hamilton having to pass protect.
Hamilton for Gerald Perry, who quit the team after a court proceeding this week when he was found not guilty. And Jim Zuriga, the regular left guard, is injured. Elway needs yards just to get in field goal range. And can't get it for Sammy Winder out of the backfield as Jerry Robinson was in a shoving match, and Vance Johnson pleased with the official. No flag.
Robinson is in the middle in that nickel, and he's going to cover the running back, and he did an excellent job. He's going to use every bit of moxie he's developed all these years.
Would you have called a penalty on this play? No, this isn't Winder. This is on the other side of the field.
He's walling off. Now out comes Winder, and really it was a pick play, no question about it, and it almost worked. Robinson was smart enough just to grab hold as he went by.
David Treadwell's longest field goal this year, 46 yards. This 45 into a tricky wind. It is good. Denver strikes first, 3-0. 9:44 remaining for 7th. Treadwell's kickoff. He's not been getting good depth, and he tops this one right into the Napoleon McCallum's midst, and he covers it at the 27-yard line.
McCallum handled that beautifully, Dick. He just fell on that ball. He didn't panic.
Looking at the scores, some finals in now in the early games, and Cincinnati sweeps the Steelers their 2 games. Philadelphia rallying from 24-0, but Buffalo does win today at home. Miami crushed by the Redskins. They're in overtime at Soldier Field. The Lions and Bears. Rams have beaten Cleveland. Tampa Bay a winner against Atlanta at home.
Well, maybe Cincinnati is for real. They're not playing consistently, but they had 2 big wins over Pittsburgh.
Jay Schrader's first throw is complete, and Lyman Henderson comes up to make the tackle after a short game. Now the late games, other than this one, Houston at Seattle, the Kingdome no score, the Jets with a field goal early at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, Indianapolis, Phoenix, New Orleans, Dallas, no score. Jay Schrader, 0 November. He did not throw a touchdown pass in the 4 games of November. The Raiders lost 3 of the 4.
Those 2 key fumbles last week really cost the Raiders the game.
Second down, same play. Willie Gault tackled immediately. Is that a... No, they'd ruled it dead. No fumble at the 36-yard line, just shy of a first down.
The Raiders felt coming into this game they could get those hitch passes to the outside in front of soft cornerbacks. In this particular case, you see Henderson back there. The ball's thrown real high, and Galt had a hard time either holding on to it or getting yards after the catch.
That was a quick whistle, indeed.
Normally, you'd want to spin out and get extra yards after the catch. The Raiders think they can do that, but of course, that's not going to be enough to win the ball game. They're just going to keep those corners guessing to the outside.
And Gold on a couple of catches has the Raiders within a yard of a first down on third down. Here's a look at the starting offensive line. Wilkerson, Wisniewski, Mosbar, Montoya from the Bengals and right. In front of Schrader, Marcus Allen will share duties with Bo Jackson. Steve Smith, the blocking back. Golden Fernandez, the wideouts. Ethan Horton, the tight end. They've activated Mike Dial, have the Raiders, before game time. And they go to 3 wide. Smith out, and Notre Dame Heisman winner Tim Brown comes in. And congratulations to Ty Detmer and Brigham Young University. They celebrated in the Rocky Mountains of Utah and in Provo.
He deserved that. He really did. A great job he's done. I think that Miami game at BYU sealed it for him.
There's a Heisman winner, tailback Marcus Allen. Will he get it on 3rd and 1? You bet. It's going to be close for the first down as he slashed off the left side. Michael Brooks and company putting the stopper on him. It is a first down. Defensively, what used to be the Orange Crush has been the Burnt Orange this year, allowing 25 points per game. Powers, Cragen, and Holmes, with Lucas Mecklenburg moving inside today. Michael Brooks and Simon Fletcher. Mark Munford is injured. That's why that moved. Robbins and Henderson. Robbins really is a safety playing at a corner. Smith and Atwater, perhaps a strength in the defense at safety.
Well, let's see what Mecklenburg can do inside. He's been frustrated on the outside. He thinks he can get into more plays now, get into more tackles, be more of a factor in the game. And they're going to need him inside because the Raiders run so well in there.
Little stunt defensively, and Smith on the audible doesn't get any yardage.
Mecklenburg was there. He thrives at that position.
No play, delay of game. There's Carl Mecklenburg. Played at Minnesota. His first 2 years at Little Augustana as a walk-on at Minnesota. He said, I always was cut from every high school team, hockey, basketball, football, and once appreciating what it's like to be a starter and a good player, and now in the NFL a great player. He's not going to let go very easily. He has his fist clenched around that starting and maybe another Pro Bowl.
He's the bell cow of this team because he's such a major factor against the run.
Marcus Allen, high knees, and across the 35 to the 37.
It's tough on the Broncos, still trying to get a formula to win ball games, and defensively moving Fletcher over to Mecklenburg's side on the right, Mecklenburg inside, starting Tim Lucas as a linebacker. Now that's tough this stage of the year, and Mecklenburg not practicing at all as an inside linebacker.
We see Simon Fletcher, their leading sacker, with 10 on the sidelines, attending to his forearm or elbow. Ronnie Halliburton, number 93, rookie from LSU, has replaced him. Second down, about 10. Deep down the middle and wide open is Willie Gauld, a first down at the 41 of Denver.
Well, Schrader handled that one well. He had an unblocked guy coming right down his throat, and Holmes was right there unblocked, and Schrader just concentrated and threw a beautiful ball down the field. This is what Al Davis and Art Shell, all of the Raiders, are looking for, because there's been some doubt, especially off last week. Beautiful throw down the middle.
And Gauld having a banner year, his best in the NFL. That's his 36th catch. Ron Holmes
just coming through unblocked almost immediately. He beat Steve Wisniewski, which is a rare occurrence.
From the 41, Marcus caught in the backfield and dropped at the 44. A loss of 3. Warren Powers, number 91 from Maryland. And Ronnie Halliburton got a piece of the action.
I'm not sure that's the place to run against this Denver defense. That off tackle, off the left or right tackle play, allows Denver to pursue. Marcus is best right down the middle, playing off the nose guard and sprinting right up between people. But that angle to the outside, the Denver team has eaten up every time they've tried it.
Well, they put a very heavy bandage on that right elbow of Fletcher. We'll see if he returns. Already weak on the defensive side. They started with key injuries. Tyrone Braxton in the early season, their top cornerback out for the year. Alfonso Carricker, their top defensive lineman, they felt, and rusher, he's out for the year. They've lost Steve Sewell for much of the year with a training accident, a weightlifting accident, dislocated his shoulder. Now Fletcher does come back in.
Well, they really need him because he's their only real pass rusher.
Well, they could have caught Denver with too many men on the field, but Schrader didn't call for the snap. 2nd and 13.
Well protected.
Beautifully protected and wide open. And another first down. It's Willie Gault again. 4 catches for Gault on this opening drive for the Raiders.
2 deep end patterns, which Gault can get open on, but has had trouble catching in the past. You see a lot of clearance for Schrader to step into his throw. And Gault breaking, pushing people back, Atwater in this case, then breaking into the middle. It's a beautiful job. See, his speed really helped him. Look at him bend out, cross over, and the ball's thrown right on the numbers. Now that's how they practice it, all the way back to training camp.
And you got to respect his world-class speed. He finished second to teammate Ron Brown for the NFL's fastest man earlier this summer.
That's the trouble. They can't run there, Dick. I mean, they've done that 4 times now with 0 results.
Michael Brooks made the tackle of Marcus.
They just can't run that off-tackle play. The Denver pursuit is just too darn good. They've got to go right at them or throw the ball.
4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Denver took the opening kickoff and settled for a 45-yard David Treadwell field goal. And now Bo Jackson and the Raiders. Bo has yet to get in on this opening drive. Marcus playing a tailback, had the ball at the 27 of Denver, 2nd and 11. Make it 12. Too much time. What a catch by Ethan Horton as he meat hooks it at the 17.
Well, we've been critical of Schrader. Everyone has, including people in the Raider organization, the team, the press. He's playing beautifully at this point. A lot of poise. I look for him to run on this play because he had absolute clearance. And look at that big hole to run through. But he does throw it over the top of a defender. And, of course, it takes an excellent catch by Horton to make the stop. But very, very well done.
Horton's
releasing off the line of scrimmage. He's got a lot of people holding him up. Everybody there. But finally, they let go of him. And Schrader had the poise to hold the ball until he was open.
On 3rd and 1, Allen has the first down inside the 15.
That time Allen broke back in behind the pursuing linebackers. Both Brooks and Mecklenburg started to the outside, and Allen, getting a feel for it now, broke back in behind him.
Well, the Denver defense has been a delight to opposing quarterbacks. If you take all the quarterbacks who have played against Denver this year, their combined rating is 90.3, which would rank 3rd in the AFC. And today, Schrader is 5 for 5 on the opening drive.
And that includes ball control kind of passing. So Denver's had a real problem getting the ball back from people.
First down, trailing 3-0. First the possession. Marcus Allen gets a kind bounce. And look at this. He gets away from 3 men. And finally, the second wave of 3. Drop Allen at the 19-yard line. Brooks and Dennis Smith corral him. It'll be a loss of about 5 or 6.
Every instinct that Marcus Allen has, every bit of wisdom came through there. Typically, a ball carrier first wouldn't pick up this ball. He took his eye off it, but now watch the wheels turn. It's the mental process of getting as much as he can back from it. A lot of people would get rattled, but he just keeps his poise. That's happened to him twice today. That inherent instinctive knowledge that he has really pays off in those situations.
And 2nd and long. Again, all day for Schrader, and he finds Horton inside the 5. Down at the 2 as Atwater saved the touchdown.
Well, I can see now why the Broncos were concerned going into this game with their pass rush. There isn't any pass rush. And now Schrader, it's almost like practice for him. Horton going up the field, and Mecklenburg really cuts him off well, but look all the time that Schrader has to throw an accurate ball. Wade Phillips, the coordinator, and speaking with him about next year, they have to draft, in his opinion, a pass-rushing defensive lineman. They just don't have that facility on the team, and it's really shown up in this game.
Officials with the discussion. The clock stopped with 43 seconds left in the quarter as the Raiders in the quarter. Welcome back to Mile High Stadium. 76,000 tickets sold, and most of the fans are here. A quick report: Soldier Field, Chicago in overtime wins. 50-yard touchdown pass Harbaugh to Neil Anderson after Eddie Murray of Detroit missed a 35-yard field goal for a Lion win in overtime. First and goal, 6-yard line, 3-0 Denver.
Jay changed the play, or at least the pass pattern.
Offside, and flags fly.
Jay was running the option play, much as we saw Detroit do earlier. He was coming down that line to run the option.
Warren Powers, the man who jumped offside.
91 defense, encroachment. Reset the clock to 41 seconds.
Well, that encroachment, most of the Raider defensive linemen know how to spell encroachment.
Oh,
Howie Long and
Howie
Bob
Long
Golick.
at home. His wife knows now. She says, hut, hut, he's up off the couch. And encroachment now is in their youngsters' vocabulary for spelling. They can come in and win the spelling bee with that one.
Even Bob Golick, kidding with the Denver writers during the week, said, just call me Bob Encroachment Golick, and you better know how to spell it right in the newspaper reports.
So how can the Raiders win as of last week? 3 fumbles, 9 penalties, and all of it, a lot of it was related to Steve DeBerg and his snap count. Now, Elway's very good at it, but Howie Long says he knows the Elway count. He's comfortable with it. He won't have any trouble. But of all quarterbacks, John Elway's been the guy that's been driving defensive linemen crazy with his irregular cadence.
41 seconds.
Final seconds of the first period. Steve Smith for a touchdown. The big fullback from Penn State has his second of the year.
Well, that looked easy enough. In the goal line defense, they can move the ball. A great job of pulling by Wisniewski around to make a critical block, and Smith just followed him in the hole. Well, that was easy enough.
So now the try for point as Smith puts the capper on a 13-play drive that ate up 9 minutes and a tick. Jeff Jager adds the extra point. 37 seconds remain in the first quarter here in Denver. The Raiders battling to get, and that's all he gets. Elvis Patterson in on the tackle. We hope you'll join us next Sunday as you see Kansas City has beaten New England to keep the pressure on the Raiders. First place in the AFC West, and there are the standings to the moment. Seattle trying to go 6-6 if they can beat Houston. And there's our lineup. Begins at 12:30 Eastern Time. Buffalo, the big winner.
Seems to have Kansas City's number, but those come from behind wins they get on them.
Elway to the flat and incomplete as that ball in the wind sailed away from tight end Clarence Gage.
But Elway, a year ago, remember that game when he pulled his team back against Kansas City in the last quarter. He had a terrible day, and as did the Broncos, but Kansas City didn't score enough, and Elway brought him back with that shovel pass and beat him. So I'm sure next week the Chiefs know that ominous feeling with Elway in the fourth quarter.
But he hasn't been a second-half quarterback this year.
No, he sure hasn't.
Denver team has not been. 7-3, 24 seconds left for this period. And it's Humphrey dancing through a good hole and out to the 25. An 8-yard pickup.
Number 50, Ricky Ellison, overran the play. It was basically his play, and he overran it to the outside, and the Humphrey just broke back behind it. Ellison has a tendency to overrun things. He's so anxious. Now you'll see him work too far to the outside, and the ball break right back up in behind him. Now that is going to be a problem all day if that continues to happen. Number 50, well outside, way outside the ball, and he allows Doug Weidel to trap him beyond the hole.
And that's the end of the first quarter, 7-3. All the scores, highlights, information for you at halftime. It's Humphrey getting the call. A little quick pop on a trap, and was it enough to get the 1.5 yards they needed for a first down as we open the second period? Bob Golick read it well.
Eddie Anderson, number 33, was up into that play. And what a great hitter he is. Talked to Marty Schottenheimer. He says this is the best safety in football. And he's got some darn good ones like Deron Cherry himself. But he's physical. He bench presses. I don't know how important that is. Over 500 pounds. He's explosive and quick. And that's sort of the new mold of the NFL football player. That big safety who's sitting back there watching the ball and can come up between people and make the big hits, a la Ronnie Lott or Fulcher.
And it denies the first down by that much. From the Wildcats of Fort Valley State, Eddie Anderson.
Now you see Eddie come flying into that play. He didn't have to make that stop, but he's always there. He reads that play beautifully, right in the middle of it, ready to finish people off. But that seems to be where linebackers in the 80s were key. The Lawrence Taylors or Keena Turners, people like that. The safeties now, 225, 230-pound men that can make the big stop.
Mike Moran, third in the league with his average of 43.3. Tim Brown at the other end for the Raiders. Beautiful kick. Fair catch, Brown at his 21-yard line. And with it a timeout. Just a few seconds into the second quarter, the Raiders have the yards, an eligible man downfield. So Horan, who had a 55-yard punt, will kick it again to Tim Brown. Pressure, and he just got it away. Another good one. Brown back to the 27. 40, and ridden out at the 41. Ronnie Halliburton, the linebacker from LSU, the rookie, makes the hit. 52 yards on the punt. 14, the return of Tim Brown.
About a 20-yard difference because of that penalty. Brown had fair caught before. This time he was not about to fair catch it because I'm sure he was upset previously.
Jay Schrader takes the field, and we shoot it to New York and Bob. And Steve Smith on first down is out to the 43-44 line.
Dick, so many of these fullback types now that you see are like Jones of Kansas City, do a journeyman job of blocking, but they carry the ball at critical times, and sometimes they're more valuable than the star running back, as with the Raiders. Smith's always there. They really don't have a backup for him, but they do have a backup for Allen and a great player like Bo Jackson. So the Smiths of the NFL often are the more valuable guys.
Marcus behind Smith block. Gets 3 when most backs would have gotten nothing.
Yeah,
Greg Cragen made the tackle.
Nowhere to go off tackle. It's just... well, I think those are the kind of calls that coaches need to start thinking about something more important to do, because there's just too much Denver pursuit. And there's Mecklenburg cutting the play off. Just too many people over there to try to get 3 or 4 yards. They've already proven they can throw the ball against this team, get it over with, go down the field with it, and finish them off.
7-3, the Raiders lead early in the second quarter. Ball at the 47. Tim Brown, the third wide receiver in, slotted to the right. But it's Marcus. Ooh, he almost fumbled the handoff and picks up the first down at the 48 of Denver. He was carrying that ball riding on his hip before he had full control.
It was a sprint draw, as they call it, where Schrader starts hard to his right, and Marcus Allen just sits there and waits for him. See him waiting, then breaking it back. And if Marcus was running right toward us, that would have been the hole, but Steve Atwater was plugging it from a safety position.
Broncos unable to stop the Raiders yet on their 2 possessions, and Jay Schrader, under center Don Mosbar, is 6-for-6 passing in this first half. Changing the play. And offside, Ron Holmes.
Boy, there's no reason to move. We sort of a revitalized Seattle team. Houston has to win, or they're going to be just about out of it as far as their division's concerned.
Marcus Allen to the 38-yard line. Warren Powers and Steve Atwater.
They're going to stay with Marcus as much as they can, I believe, in this game, because he really handles the cold weather well, and he's been basically the leader. Now there's Bo on the sideline. Bo Jackson has not done this year what he did last year, even though the team wasn't nearly as successful. You can see 6.8 last year. When he came in, it was a storm. He just took over. But they're still with Marcus this year. He's the guy that knows just where to go with that football.
And there goes Allen right into the teeth of the Denver defense, looking for a yard and a first down.
Last week, Bo Jackson missed 2 pass protections that really got Schrader hit. And they don't talk much about it. Naturally, he's such a great star and very visible with everybody. But he completely missed an assignment, and Schrader took 5 sacks, 2 of them because Bo wasn't there. So some of these things are rather subtle to the public, but the coaches and players know.
Well, the contribution when the Raiders win, though, is obvious when you saw that last graphic. And when they lose, Jackson doesn't get the ball as often, and he is certainly not as productive.
And it's tough to be on that sideline. It's really cold today. And to stand there and freeze and then suddenly jump and go right in the game is really tough.
First down. Allen making it by inches. How deep he is, 8 yards behind the center. Fighting for every inch to the 35. Carl Mecklenburg in a battle of pro stars makes the tackle.
Well, this is the game Mecklenburg likes. It's been a full year since he's played this position. You see him move laterally and then right up into the hole, and when he hits people, he stops. No question about it. The Raiders, Dick, are so conservative. I don't think it's wind that's a problem. It's so conservative, they kill Denver with a pass, and they're running that ball.
Second down and 7. 7-3 Raiders. Gold had 4 catches on the opening drive. To Steve Smith. And he gets 2 or 3 off tackle.
What you do in this case, if they can't get the momentum away from Denver or take the momentum, when they slug it out like this, all it does is give Denver more and more confidence in this game. What they need to do is get a big play, get another score on that board, and then see what Denver does. Because Denver's the kind of team playing on emotion today, not playing sharply. And of course, here's Dan Reese having to put together a whole myriad of different problems this year.
Dan Reeves, his 10th year. He's had only 2 losing seasons in 25 years of pro football as a player, assistant at Dallas, and here in Denver. The other was a losing season in the strike year of 82, and they went 2-7. Flags are down.
Well, 2 people were moving before the ball was snapped.
And Gall can't juggle that one in.
Marcus Allen was adjusting his position, and Brown was in motion at the same time.
There's your call. Motion penalty that'll be declined by Denver as the pass incomplete.
Illegal motion. Number 32 had not set while the man went in motion. Penalty refused. 4th down.
Now, that's all on Marcus. Marcus has to be set. But the Raiders, Dick, played it so darn conservatively in this drive, it came down to 1 3rd down play instead of going after Denver. So now they're punting the ball. And the longer they go without a score, the better Denver's chances are.
But that is almost contradictory to the Raider image, isn't it? The go downfield, go for the big play, and all of a sudden this year they have been more conservative. There's been less of that so-called vertical game.
Well, this is the game they could use it because Denver hasn't shown any pass rush to disrupt the quarterback in Schrader, and Schrader needs a good day.
There's Gossett aiming for the corner, and he hits it. A beautiful kick at the 2, 3, 4-yard line, they mark it. So Denver, when we return, will start deep in their own 4 years. He takes his team to the Super Bowl. That looked pretty good on any resume, and suddenly you'd think he just doesn't know how to coach this game this year because he's 3-8.
Well, the impact the Broncos have on this metropolitan area is unbelievable. I was trying to buy some tennis shoes yesterday. I said, where's the business? He says, no business. Everybody's down. Everybody's depressed. The Broncos aren't doing well this year. So Dan has to worry about selling tennis shoes as well as coach his team.
Bobby Humphrey gets out to the 6 or 7 yard line. And it's not only that, even the real estate market apparently is being impacted by the Broncos' failure to win. And of course, this historically has been television's best market for pro football in terms of ratings. Look at this. Home sales, this yesterday's Denver Post. Warm weather, dismal Broncos season cited for the climb in November because people are out in their cars looking for houses.
Instead of watching the games.
That was the front page of the business section.
You know, when I was shopping yesterday, I just visiting with some people about the holiday season and the music that was playing. And they said, how can we have a holiday season? We're so depressed because the Broncos are losing. So everything's dependent on this team and this community.
Sammy Winder, rather hesitant effort around the right side. Eddie Anderson makes the hit at the 9-yard line.
Well, you're tested during your career as a coach, and this is Dan's big test as far as how his team is doing this year, and then dealing with all the forces that have worked on his efforts. It's been a number of very specific factors that have made a difference.
Well, as you can well attest, this is where you really learn about yourself, your team, your organization when you're losing, not necessarily when you're winning. 3rd and 5 for Elway, the shotgun, and the throw complete to Michael Young. And the 6th-year wide receiver from UCLA has a first down. He was very ill this week, had the flu. In fact, yesterday could barely walk, but in there because Vance Johnson and Mark Jackson are both hurt.
Runs a slanting pattern. Elway discussed with us his need to throw the 3-step pattern, which are slants and quick patterns, or the 5-step patterns, which are hooking patterns, related to the number of steps he takes before he throws, or the play pass. But they don't want to drop back deep and throw because the pass rush is just too much for their offensive line.
What is first down? There's another mistake. The left tackle, Beryl Hamilton, who is playing for Gerald Perry. But Dan Reeves, and he spent about an hour with us yesterday, and you have to admire the toughness of this man. He knows the sport, loves it, aggressive, and yet through all of that, he said, I asked him, I said, who's been your counsel? Is it your old buddy Ditka? Who do you talk to in your tough times? He said, my wife, Pam Reeves. We've been married 26 years. And he said, you know, I love her more today than I ever had. And I thought, with all of the bombs exploding around him from the press, even his own players, that Dan was able to look almost with a tear in his eye and say, this is the person that really counts.
She could bring objectivity to all the emotional things that are going around the Denver Broncos on and off the field.
Underneath and incomplete to Terry Porter. Porter from Washington State, played a couple of years with the Raiders, limited role.
You know, Dick, there's sort of a
lot of fires. Oh, Melvin Bratton, that one hit him right in the midst.
Well, you can hear the crowd. They haven't heard this kind of difficulty before from a crowd. You know, there's sort of an indifferent booing. It's not that heavy booing, but it's sort of a sigh of, oh, here we go again. But that scenario is so typical of the losing season. The injuries that mount up, losing guys for the entire year, some for a given week, not knowing if they can play or not, then a series of close losses in which they lose by 1 point or lose in the last seconds of the game. And then all these controversial things coming up.
Elway scrambling. Gets away from Howie Long. Gets a block downfield and has a first down. There is the Elway of old.
Well, this is what he's done historically to pull his team out on a key down. Now, no way he runs as fast and as quick as he used to be. He's taken a lot of punishment over the years, but that decisiveness as to what to do, and he had a big blitz coming that time, and he almost lost it with Terry McDaniel blitzing from a corner spot, but those spontaneous plays he's been famous for, he just hasn't made as often this year, and it's shown up on the score.
And at that, he's the second leading rusher. Here's their number 1 man, Bobby Humphrey, for about 5 to the 42-yard line. Tom Benson the hit. Humphrey, who was, well, there's Michael Young and a pack of Raiders. Oh, no, it's Shannon Sharp from Savannah State, the rookie. And down is Lionel Washington of Los Angeles.
It could have been just a helmet-to-helmet kind of concussion that may put him out for a few plays.
Still 7.
Porter leading through and Humphrey bouncing it outside. It looks very good, but then watch the collision that occurs with Washington and Humphrey right there. You'll see that, and that is basically a concussion that can sort of rattle you.
Washington left the field under his own power, just dazed on that hit. Here's Humphrey cutting back inside, a la Marcus Allen, his idol. In fact, said I look forward to playing the Raiders because I get to see the man that I tried to pattern my style after, and there he is. Not a bad man to follow in many ways, not only as a player but as a citizen.
On and off the field, Marcus is the ultimate in a football player, and a professional, a true professional. And I think, honestly, I think Bobby Humphrey needs a lot of maturing on and off the field. He really does. He has the same style as Marcus, and hopefully, in his case, the same kind of abilities. But the consistency you need, the concentration you need, Bobby Humphrey isn't involved in their passing game.
What a catch! Michael Young, a diving grab. He was an outstanding baseball outfielder in college. In fact, had thoughts of a major league career. That was a diving play in the alley.
There's that quick pass that Elway was talking about. 3 steps and throw the slant.
And he hummed it. First down at the 45. Young second catch.
And they wanted to work on Gary Lewis. And you'll see later Torrin Dorn, 2 younger players. These are the guys that the Broncos wanted to work on going into this game.
Lionel Washington is okay. He's up right on the line of scrimmage as the cornerback on the far side of the field. Quickie, the cage, and the tight end bowls to the 26.
This is the play they opened the game with that was wide open, and they waited and timed it beautifully. Now what they did was pull a guard, and then they'll pull the left guard, and Ricky Ellison will go flying. Then they'll release the tight inside of Robinson, the tight end, and you'll see a big hole develop inside. There goes Ricky Ellison, and now there's the throw. Just inside. It was beautifully executed. One of the few plays they felt they had specifically for this Raider defense.
In other words, Ellison is reading the guard and figures running play when he pulls, and then they just shoot right in behind him.
Ricky is so aggressive.
Humphrey reversing his field to make a few yards out of a tough spot as we go back to our San Diego. Indianapolis by 7 and New Orleans a field goal lead.
Watch out for Indianapolis. It sounds crazy because they were so bad, almost pathetic early in the year, but they seem to have it together.
They'd go 6-6 with a win today, and who knows about the wild card with that extra deal this year. 4 in the wild card picture instead of 2. And we're down already to the 2-minute timeout. Denver trying to regain the lead. Some unfinished business. The wild card picture, of course, an extra wild card team for each of the AFC and NFC conferences, so that one of the conference or division winners will play a wild card team, and the other 2 wild cards will play.
You know, you can see some momentum being built up by some of those unlikely teams.
Inside, 2 minutes to go in the half.
Raider blitz.
Elway has a man open. Bratton. No, it's Vance Johnson. Vance Johnson for the touchdown.
Well, that's Vinny Elway. He saw the blitz put Vance Johnson straight up the field against an excellent cornerback. But Johnson got just 1 step on Lionel Washington, and then Elway threaded the needle right up over the top. Beautiful catch, beautiful throw. Now that's why Denver's been so successful in past years. Those kinds of plays.
Only his 3rd touchdown of the year for Vance Johnson. Acrobatic catch, that fine leap for a former NCAA long jump champion. That's part of his great talent.
But you know, Dick, the Raiders have let the Broncos back in the game.
And now the Raiders have 1:55 to try to come back. It's 10-7 Broncos, 96 yards and 12 plays. A key play was Elway's scramble for 18 yards on 3rd and long deep in his own end. And finally Johnson with a touchdown. As Treadwell line drives one toward Ron Brown. Picked off by Jamie Holland, who cut in front of Brown. And Holland is to the 27-yard line. 1:49 left for the Raiders to come back. They have relinquished the lead. Timeout. 10's
coming. He saw single coverage down the field, so he runs a beautiful pass play with Johnson over the top for the touchdown. Look at the touch of the throw itself. Right up over the top of everybody, where Johnson can reach out. In this case, Washington can't make a play on the ball. But the Raiders let the Broncos back in the game.
Here's Bo, his first carry of the game. And dragged down from behind by Mecklenburg at the 35-yard line. A pickup of about 8.
Well, that's what Bo does best. Bo runs the sweep. Both guards coming outside. You see Wisniewski, number 76, kicking out the safety man, Smith, and Bo breaking back inside of it. So that's the kind of play you'll see with Bo in the ball game.
But, Bill, the clock is running. 1:20. They run a play.
And they've got Bo back in the game. This is where Marcus would be a big factor.
And they run it again. And Bo has a first down. And
we might be wrong. Maybe they know something we don't.
Jackson, about one player away from a long one, has a first down at the 46, and the Raiders call time with 1:08 left in the half. And Marcus now is the cheerleader on the sidelines. It's 10-7, the underdog Broncos at home. 10, a team that's 3-8, and yet you don't see many empty seats here at Mile High Stadium. He's faithful of pro football. Watch as in the final minute of the first half, Schrader goes to work, and there's another wide open receiver, Mervin Fernandez, and a first down inside the Denver 40-yard line.
Well, there is a formula for the Raiders to win today, because Schrader is getting all the time he needs. Fernandez is running a comeback pattern, sprinting down the field, then cutting it off, wide open, down the field. Robbins, a safety man, trying to cover him, a safety trying to cover him, playing corner today. That's the formula to win. No question about it. With a minute left in the half, the Raiders need a score right now.
Fernandez, first catch of today, his 39th.
Put 22 seconds back on the 25-second clock. Put 22 seconds back up there. Thank you.
Little clock trouble
today. The play on the
today.
sideline is being reviewed.
Gene Barth, the referee, apparently well inside the line.
No problem there. But all the time Schrader had.
First down, trailing 10-7.
A lot of time.
Finally, it breaks down, and the first sack of the day goes to Tim Lucas. His first, perhaps, as a pro. He's been a special teams guy in his 4 years here out of California as a free agent. Warren Powers got a piece of it as well.
Jay Schrader had the ball 5 full seconds before he threw it that time.
And the clock is running. They don't call time here. And on second down,
it looked like Bo Jackson left. I'm not sure he had somebody to block or not. But now they'll get time. They can make a play. They have enough time to get 3 points out of this drive.
Well, they're certainly casual about it, however. Screen knocked away and almost intercepted by Ron Holmes, the veteran from Washington.
That's the lack of pass rush. They tried to screen without a pass rush. Ron Holmes was still on the line of scrimmage. You'll see him right in front of us, being blocked, completely blocked, and then he just reaches out and taps the ball because he hasn't gone anywhere yet.
The whole idea of the screen is to get 3 or 4 men in on the quarterback and throw over them. The only man that penetrated was Mecklenburg. So 3rd and 17, 26 seconds for Schrader to try to at least get into field position for a three-pointer.
Look for Willie Gall, number 83, at the bottom of the screen to run down 20 yards and break back to the inside.
Schrader rolling to that triple left formation and hits Horton, the tight end, at the 39-yard line. That won't be good enough for a first down. Clock running. And Schrader apparently will not try to stop it other than to bring, well, now he does with 14 seconds left. And 10-7 Denver. It is a real test of fandom.
Dick, can you feel your feet? I don't know if I have any. They're frozen.
This is a 4th and 7 for Schrader. Again, look at the time. Incomplete to Galt. And with 8 seconds left, the Broncos have held and take over on downs.
Well, the Raiders will have 30 minutes to stay in the race. It's that simple. They got 30 minutes, and Art Shell, in visiting with him before the game, he said it last week, now this week. A 5-game season is what it is. It's a 5-game season. Now it's a 4.5 season.
Ron Holmes, as you can see, number 90, broke up the play. The big defensive end was able to tip Schrader's pass intended for Galt.
One of the problems with the Broncos is a lack of pass rush, but Holmes around the line of scrimmage has made 2 plays.
Well, at the 37, Dan Reeves has 8 seconds. Will Elway cut a long one loose, hoping that maybe a receiver can get out of bounds, and a long field goal try, or will they play it safe? They'll play it safe. Fans don't like a flag goes down, so hold on. There's a flag on the play. The linesman across the way tossed the flag. Both teams are heading for the warmth of the locker room.
There's no foul.
And we will have more halftime after we pause for these words from your local station. And it's going into the second half as Treadwell hits a sidewinder right over Jamie Holland's head, and the Raiders will start from the 20-yard line. Kansas City has already won impressively. Barry Word with over 100 yards rushing. Steve DeBerg over 300 yards passing today at New England. So the Raiders need to win in order to move into a tie, and next week, no touchdown.
He's got Bo in the backfield, Dick, so expect Bo to carry that football.
Well, they come out throwing the quick hitch to Galt, exactly the way they started the football game, with Galt catching 2 of those little quick hitch passes in front of Wyman Henderson.
Well, Wyman Henderson on the outside and Randy Robbins on the other side. You don't have great coverage people. It's that simple. And Schrader, in speaking with him, Mike White visiting with him, they know they can throw the ball outside against the Broncos this week because they're just mismatched. Too many injuries affecting Denver.
He won Tyrone Braxton, who was the best cover man and best defensive cornerback. Here goes Bo for a first down. He certainly gets your heartbeat going if you're a Denver Bronco fan, because it looks every carry as if he's about ready to break one a long way.
Every tackle is made from the side on Bo. Even if he doesn't make a yard, he gets there so quick that he's almost by people by the time they make contact.
You can see Marcus Allen harnessed by the Denver defense, less than 2 yards a carry. Jackson more productive as he came in late in the first half. So it's Bo that gets the start here in the second half. First down at the 31. Jackson only for 2. Go ahead and say it, Bill.
Gee, I'm afraid I'm going to drive the viewers away from their sets if I just keep harping on the fact that Raiders have to throw the football. They've got everything hanging in the balance here. They've got to win this game. A lot of teams are creeping up, like Indianapolis. Even Seattle are creeping up. If the Raiders were to lose this game, they'd only be ahead by 1 game for the wild card spot. So they have to win this, and they've got something going for them. They've got mismatches on the corner, and they're not getting a pass rush that should bother Schrader.
From the far side for the time again, and underneath for Fernandez, and a first down at the 40. Well, it'll be close, right at the 42-yard line. It'll be determined by the spot. Michael Brooks made the tackle. First down, Los Angeles.
Don't come out with a run on first down. Just throw the ball, and maybe on second down give it to Bo. Mike acting like
I like this. No, I like to hear this. Indeed, along with the weakness at the corners on the cover, today with the injuries to Mark Munford and Simon Fletcher, Dan Reeves is playing 2 outside linebackers, Tim Lucas and Ronnie Halliburton, that are inexperienced.
Oh, there it is.
And too far for Willie Gault. Steve Atwater had come over to help out Wyman Henderson. Don Mosbar, the center. Let's watch him at work against Cragen, 2 Pro Bowl types.
Mosbar gets some help from Montoya, and he gets some help with Wisniewski. That inside combination for the Raiders is among the very best, and of course is centered by Don Mosbar. At 6'6", he's really, I'm sure he's the tallest center in football, maybe the tallest the game has seen.
But he gets that rear end way down low.
Right. He's got to stay down low because that height isn't a real advantage.
Bo Jackson across the 45, a gain of about 5 and a flag, and that could be a face mask. Ron Holmes was one of the tacklers along with Brooks and Henderson.
Often it's holding on the tight end if one of the deep judges come running up.
Yep, that's right. Gene Barth, the man in the white hat, the referee. That'll negate a 5-yard gain by Bo Jackson if indeed Denver takes the penalty.
Well, Marcus is back. So you'd have to assume the Raiders are going to throw at this point. Here comes their
holding
nickel defense.
88 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay the second half.
Tight end Ethan Horton.
Now, Horton's having a great year. He's become a good, solid blocker. He still has some skills as a runner, as a pass receiver after the catch.
And Mike Dial.
He's a strength. And then Dial's back, too. Sure.
And he had a fine year last year, did Dial. He was the number 3 receiver. He had 27 catches. But Horton has played so well that he continues to start, although that was Dial's job at the start of the year. Tim Brown is in as the 3rd wide receiver, and they give it to Marcus. Fine tackle by Ron Holmes. Was able to fight off a blocker and get Marcus just as he was slipping away. Holmes, who was a holdout earlier in the year, and that was part of the continuing problems for Denver back in September. Unhappy.
Good trap block by Max Montoya. Too many people up there. Good example of someone like Steve Atwater, number 27. He plays linebacker in the nickel defense. Here's a safety. That's that kind of athlete I've been talking about.
There's Atwater almost in a linebacker position.
They have a blitz out of this. No, don't blitz. Just man-to-man.
Third and 17 deep. An intercept dropped. Dennis Smith right in his hands as Tim Brown, the receiver, overshot by Schrader.
Well, that's the first break of the game for the Raiders, because the ball was clearly thrown too high, and it's a tough throw. A post pattern in that situation is tough, because you'll notice him getting all the protection he needs, but then throwing it over the top of Bronco defenders. That was so tough to put in there, over the top of Robbins, the number 48, who was underneath the receiver.
Well, they've gotten about the 32 on an interception. Let's see where they get it on a punt. As Jeff Gossett, averaging 38.9 on the year. Kevin Clark for the Broncos at the 20.
Beautiful.
Very high. Clark gets a nice little block, but a flag goes down with it at the 25-yard line. And the Raiders now are saying that they've stolen the ball from Clark. And it's against the Raiders anyway, so they'll have to re-kick it. Man downfield prematurely. Clark, boy, it's just contagious, isn't it? Some teams are able to get through a whole year, never lose a key player, or only a few, and others it's just one after another compounded.
84, illegally downfield for the kicking team. Coming refused, first down.
Well, that's a surprise. They're going to take that punt, a good one by the Raiders.
I have some demand. But it does get a little chilly, a little different from the San Francisco Rancho Santa Fe way.
Well, that's it. You just had a birth. As you get older, the cold bothers you more. The Broncos, 47-yard punt, 7-yard on the return. And Elway starts at the 25. Humphrey for about 3. Bob Golick and others on the tackle. Let's check the scoreboard. Hurts on the 10-minute ticker. Seattle 7-3 early in the second half. San Diego, Marion Butts is over the 1,000-yard mark. Scored 2 touchdowns for the Chargers today. Indianapolis lead cut to 4 by the Cardinals, and it's New Orleans. Steve Walsh, the former Cowboy quarterback, now against Troy Aikman and Dallas, and it's 10-7.
That run and shoot, Houston destroying Buffalo last week, and they got 3 points against Seattle this week.
Elway under pressure. Guns it. Oh, intercepted at the 30-yard line, and a fine play by Terry McDaniel. Elway throwing a dangerous sideline pass.
I bet he wishes he had, you've heard that one before, had that one back. Oh, that was just at the last instant he looked over there and tried to drill it. And in the past, I think John Elway would have run with the ball, but he's just not moving this year like he did. Now you see the sliding position, but McDaniel sees that coming all the way. And you just don't want to ever throw a ball when the defender is parallel to the receiver, because then the defender can step right up inside of it. Now let's see what the Raiders do. They need 7 points, Dick. 3 points aren't going to do it. They've got to get the ball into the end zone. It's the biggest drive of the year so far for the Raiders right now.
Trailing 10-7, 9:42 left in the third period. Bow in motion. And wide open is Galt the other way, and a first down at the 10.
Well, that was a good call.
Wyman Henderson made the tackle.
Galt and Henderson is a mismatch. Henderson's had a good year because he's a good technician, but he's got one of the fastest people. Willie bursts and just turns Henderson around. And a good throw. Now that's what they needed on first down.
6th catch for Willie today. 39 on the season. They can get a first down without a touchdown, just outside the 10. Terry McDaniel's first interception of the year, positioning the Raiders. First turnover of the game. Bo Jackson bouncing off tacklers. He's got a touchdown. Or does he? Yes, now they signal. Bo Jackson. Oh, did he steamroll that defender?
He bounced through people. Did you see the determination he had to get in that end zone? There just wasn't any way to stop him. A beautiful job of taking the ball. And naturally, Smith right in front of him, a key block. But watch Bo just break clean of those tackles. What athletic ability. That's what I used to do when I was much younger, Dick.
Just dive and from
fall.
About the 20, I heard.
Never had the ball. No, that was a drive. Now, that's the Raiders.
Bo Jackson's first touchdown since his first game after his Kansas City Royal season ended. So the Royal Raider running right over Michael Brooks, number 56, has given Los Angeles the lead 13-10.
This is what Al Davis put together. He got Galt from the Bears. He signed Bo in a sort of a very special way, I guess you'd put it, away from everybody, and they just paid off, the two of them.
Jeff Jager's point after. 14-10. So the first turnover of the game, and Denver again. So many of Elway's interceptions in the second half, and Bo Jackson, the former decathlete champion from Mississippi, vaults for 6. Jager kicks it off. And fairly short to Alton Montgomery, the rookie from Houston, feeling his way to the 23. Well, the Broncos have had trouble in the second half this year, and so has John Elway. 1 interception this season in the first half, and 10 of his 11 in the second half, including that last throw that McDaniel picked off.
There's just been a serious loss of confidence on the part of the Broncos after being such big winners for so many years. Any number of reasons, but the off-the-field problems with players, the controversy, in a sense, the disruption with Dan Reeves and John Elway, probably not real serious, but it's a factor. But they've lost confidence as a team.
Bobby Humphrey, he loses a yard. Howie Long.
That off-tackle play, Dick, I swear, that automatic 1st and 10. What are they after? You get 3 or 4 yards, it's still not going to do it for you.
After the half.
Yeah.
Points. First half dramatically positive. Interceptions, 1 and 13. That includes Kubiak's interceptions when he replaced Elway against Minnesota. +5 turnover in the first half for Denver, -14. And Dan Reeves really focuses on that statistic, that turnover differential. It's so key, he feels, to victory or defeat. Out of the classic K for short yardage to the 27. Tom Benson tripped him up along with Mike Harden. Elway checking the clock, 7:49 and running. 3rd period.
You know, Mike Harden, having played here in Denver now with the Raiders, he's noted a loss of confidence in the team that he once played for. Just a different sort of mindset, different than he's ever seen. Still living in town here.
On 3rd down, Elway lots of time. Now throws underneath, and it's going to be close as Mark Jackson makes the catch right at the yardsticks. Jackson's first catch today. He was banged up a knee against Detroit in that Thanksgiving Day game, and Vance Johnson, who has a touchdown catch, had both a calf and a foot problem, and that was just enough for the boyish product of Chicago, Illinois, and Purdue University, Mark Jackson.
You know, Darrell Hamilton, the left tackle, number 69, has done a pretty good job on Greg Townsend, the Raiders, because Townsend really hasn't impacted Elway in any way, and Townsend is the best pass rusher for the Raiders and one of the best in football. So the young guy, Darrell Hamilton, who I believe has a real future, It'll take a couple of years, but as being a very, very good offensive lineman, doing a great job.
Just beating the play clock. And the throw to Kerry Porter, who has his first yards of this season as a Denver Bronco, his first catch.
Here's a good look at number 69, Darrell Hamilton, with 93, who's super strong and super quick. He just gets the job done. And last week he had Derek Thomas. He's had the best people.
Michael Kofer.
Dent. He's had, yeah, Kofer it was, I'm sorry. We did that Thanksgiving game. And he's done reasonably well.
5 yards on that first down throw by Elway to Porter.
There's the fake.
Elway, Townsend rips him down. The first sack of the game for the Raiders, and for Townsend, his 11th and a half on the year. One of the leaders in the NFL.
Darrell Hamilton had to block aggressively that time for the first time because they were faking a run. You see him block down to the inside, and a guard, Wydell, come out to try to get Townsend. So it wasn't Hamilton, it was Wydell pulling and expecting to pass protect once he got there. That's the same play that Denver had 2 good gains with earlier. This time the Raiders were ready. Those special plays you can only go to, maybe 1 or 2 times a game. After that, the defense usually has it figured out.
So 3rd and long and shotgun Elway. Down the middle. Oh, what a catch! Sliding under 3 Raiders, Ricky Nattiel. The Raiders thought he trapped it. How did the ball get in there?
Scott Davis was all over Elway that time, and Elway still got it off. Good move, Washington in behind it. Looks like he got it. He got it.
What a throw. It's the only spot where it could have been complete. Lionel Washington again with great coverage.
Pretty good look.
Yeah, from that angle you can't.
Pretty tough to see from that angle. But it was a nice job of sort of sliding under the ball to get it and try to get your body or your hands underneath it.
Here it is again. Ricky Nattiel's first catch of the day. He's been playing with a limp for the last year with bad knee injury suffered last season. Taking some of the speed away from the former Florida star. From midfield, it's Bobby Humphrey getting 3 yards. Ricky Ellison up on top with plenty of help from the defensive line underneath.
For all intents and purposes, the Denver offensive line shouldn't be able to do much with these Raiders. The Raiders are healthy, they're strong, they're determined, and Denver playing with Hamilton and Dave Wydell as an example, other people banged up, shouldn't be able to get away with it.
Saw Dan Reeves. He had quite a session with his team on Monday. The first time this year, he made all the team look at the entire Thanksgiving Day game. He just felt that after looking at the film, my team didn't play hard. I thought they had played harder. He said they just really let me down.
In that Detroit game, well, there's good completion.
Kerry Porter, and that has to taste sweet for him. 2 catches against his former teammates.
You know, in that Detroit game, during that loss, Dan felt that the team was playing pretty well and trying hard. When he saw the tapes, he was shocked how poorly they played. So he put his whole team through it. This is a nice shot of throwing the ball inside. Porter lined up as a wide receiver, forcing a defensive back safety man to cover him, and then just running a little delay pattern.
Now it's Nattiel wide to the near side, and to the far side, it's Shannon Sharp, the rookie from Savannah State. He's a target. His brother, Kurt Sterling, the great receiver for Green Bay. Humphrey diving off that left side to the 30, and let's go to our 10-minute Hertz ticker. These are the finals. Cincinnati winning, 2nd victory over the Steelers. Buffalo holds on against Philly. Washington over Miami. In overtime, the Bears. Kansas City pounds New England. Rams over Cleveland. It was Tampa Bay beating Atlanta. Late games, 10-3. Seattle leads Houston. San Diego by a touchdown over the Jets at home in the 3rd. Indianapolis by 4 against Phoenix in Arizona. And New Orleans now opens a 6-point advantage against the Cowboys in Dallas. And there's the former Cowboy. 24 years in football. 8 of those years, Dan Reeves was at the Super Bowl as a player and coach. And 2nd and 5. Wide open, Porter. Good move. He's got a first down at the 20.
After the fake, Porter faked inside, then came out in the flat, and it looks as though Benson, the linebacker, 54, fails to cover him. You see him get lost, and no one outside with Porter. So the play pass fooled both Ricky Ellison and Benson, and no one covered Porter.
Ricky Ellison put a big hit on Porter, who comes out. 3 catches on this drive. First down at the 20. Less than 2 minutes left, third quarter, and the Los Angeles Raiders lead 14-10. Humphrey running well. He's looking for that elusive 100-yard day. He had plenty early in the year, then the ankle injury, and he's got 79 yards this afternoon.
He thinks he's a failure unless he gets 100 yards. He's grown to anticipate that, as have the entire team. That time, Doug Weidel was going to trap again to the left side. Humphreys had at least 4 good 5-yard gains over there. This time, Humphrey broke it back behind the pursuit.
2nd and 4 on Humphrey's 6-yard pickup. This is the 12th play of the drive, consuming nearly 90 minutes. Humphrey, good hole.
Gee, that's working.
To the 11, it'll be shy by a yard of a first down. Bob Golick in on the tackle.
They're running that left side. Dave Weidel, just a young guy, of course, the brother of Doug. Doug's pulling and Dave is double teaming, so the two of them are working beautifully together, with Doug coming right up inside through the hole. A beautiful job. This is some real action. Look at this. They want to play. That's the rivalry. Those two contrasting uniforms and contrasting styles.
3rd and 1, Humphrey. Boy, he bangs hard in there, and inside the 10, it's a first down. Hard-earned 2 yards for Humphrey at 201 pounds.
Newly wet. This Denver team a lot of credit for coming out to win this ball game, just determined to play it. They could have gone in the tank like a lot of teams do as the year passes when they're out of contention. But these guys, because of an owner like Pat Bowlen and the coaching staff, just come out and play their game.
Hey, this crowd, they may care too much, as you've indicated, even the economy revolving around whether the Denver Broncos win or lose. But look at the testimony to the love of this sport in this town on a very cold Sunday. You're going to have to search to find the few hundred that did not use their tickets today in this crowd of 76,000. These are fans. Of course, a lot of them will make their way to Miami. We'll see University of Colorado against Notre Dame, Orange Bowl on January 1st, 1991 here on NBC.
That Colorado game, can you believe how frustrated the Colorado coaches and players were? Now they have another chance to be #1. How it runs.
Elway sees the final seconds tick away. End of 3 with Denver threatening to regain the lead. And we'll be back. Greg Townsend says, get those out of here.
The stranger in town.
Townsend with a big smile. A ball at the 10-yard line. As we start this 4th quarter, 1st and 10. Actually, 1st and goal as Elway delivers it wide and away from trouble. Jerry Porter was out there.
Jerry Robinson came right into that coverage. Porter trying to break into the flat again, as he had done just a few plays ago, but this time Jerry Robinson was right on top of it. So they did make an adjustment and handle the play.
Robinson, who was the #1 pick of the Eagles way back in '79, migrating back to Los Angeles, where he played his collegiate ball. Played against Art Shell in the Super Bowl in 1980. The Raiders beat the Eagles. He was on the losing side. Oh, surprised to go to the running play on 2nd and long, and Humphrey didn't fool the Raiders.
Well, they've hit it every play. They've made yardage every time they've tried that play in which Weidel pulls and Humphrey follows him in there. But this time the Raiders were ready for it. It's tougher at this point on the field too, Dick, because everything's so condensed with that goal line right behind the defenders. So you'll see the guard pull and Humphrey break right in behind it, but nowhere to go that time. It's the first time they've stopped it, and did they need to?
16th play of this drive. Fourth quarter. Raiders 14, Broncos 10, 3rd and goal. Out of the backfield, a fine catch by Winder, but he can't get in. The pass was a difficult one for him to catch. Had he been able to catch that in his running rhythm, it might have been a touchdown, but he had to stop all his momentum just to grab the ball.
It was a delayed screen. And finally, they throw it outside to Winder. And he's there, but Jerry Robinson's the only guy left, and he dives and makes the stop. Did a beautiful job of recovering because he's the only guy there. I'd assume he had coverage, but Karts was out there, the center, to make a block, and they just missed getting it done.
When you're 3 and 8, you go for the field goal in 14-13. Do you fake it? Let's see. Here's Treadwell, 21-yard attempt. They take the easy 3. So 13 minutes, 24 seconds left. Some of the fans didn't like the call, but Reeves is within 1. Hold at 14-13. Treadwell's kick into the wedge. And the return out to the 30-yard line. And while we have a quick break here, let's go to those two young guys.
They really are two good ones. That's the future of the quarterback in the NFL. Those two young guys.
Jay Schrader leading by a point. Plenty of time. 13 minutes plus in the fourth. And Proud trying to help the defense. Bo Jackson, what a move. And finally ridden out of bounds by Wyman Henderson. And look at Ronnie Halliburton. He can't believe he didn't bring down Bo Jackson.
He didn't even slow him down. Bo just jumped around him. And what acceleration. See Bo with the ball. Look at this. He just makes a man avoid. Halliburton had him. And then that speed to the outside. You just can't overestimate enough the speed that Bo has when he starts sprinting somewhere.
We couldn't show you the rest of that because what Halliburton was saying turned the set black. A loss of 3, but Bo turns it into a gain of 6. Here's Willie Gault. And another little quick hitch on the outside. Gains a first down. Halliburton made the tackle. And what a day for Gault. 7 catches, 84 yards.
Well, he needed to break out, and Schrader needed to break out. So everything's sort of hangs in the balance now, but you must say that Schrader is playing with a lot of confidence and self-assuredness in spite of all the adverse publicity and all the undercurrent on the team itself. The guys come out and play a good football game.
Bo Jackson, and again it takes 3 men to bring him down, but they do drop him for a loss. Dennis Smith was the 3rd man on the scene after slowed up by Warren Powers and Ronnie Halliburton.
Montoya and Wright pulled on that counter O play. You see them both pulling. There's nowhere to go, and that's the first time they've run that play all day. They had no reason, I don't think, to think that would work. There's some other things that are working. They have to keep going to, namely the forward pass.
Fernandez to the right. Gault left. Smith and Bo Jackson behind Schrader. Look at the time again, right
there
down the middle. Oh, Fernandez drops a first down at the 42.
That was a beautiful throw. Good pass protection. Beautiful throw. Fernandez may have wanted to go start running before he caught it. No, and that's he's a real pro. I mean, if he does that very many times, it is going to cost the Raiders. I mean, you're not paying a guy to do that.
Well, he's a former Canadian Football League star, and he's used to the cold weather. It looked as if he tried to embrace that rather than getting his hands on it.
The stakes are too high to drop a ball.
Marcus Allen replaces Bo Jackson. Outstanding receiver is Allen, and a good pass protector. And Schrader goes down. Mecklenburg gets the sack.
It looked like Mecklenburg came back underneath to get the stop. He came back underneath. There it is. He got inside of Graves. And Dick, remember last year, talking about Graves all year, he can't handle a guy that starts up the field and comes back underneath. And he hasn't corrected that problem.
Vance Johnson, injuries and all, is back to return the punt with Clark injured earlier today. Well, with 10:57 left, the Broncos are going to get the ball. it. Wobbly boot. Johnson, fair catch. Ooh, he had some running room. 32-yard line. 10:44 remain. And oops, there goes another scuffle. The 4th today. Flags are down. More flags fly.
Again, Dick, the odds are too high. It's too important for the Raiders to have anything go wrong now. They're going for the division title and hopefully the championship. Even things like this, where people are running around getting in fights and shoving each other and grabbing face masks, this just isn't disciplined enough to get it done. Now, it may come out okay right here, but it may not. And that's what can kill him.
Gene Barth hearing all evidence. Boy, you saw Art Shell there a moment ago.
He was hot.
Hall of Famer of a year ago. You know, he was a little, his eyes kind of riveted on us when we asked him about Steve Berline yesterday and how could you keep Steve Berline, who was your #1 quarterback all last year when you took over as head coach here, hasn't suited for one game all year. He held out early. And Vince Evans, he said, is my #2 quarterback, and Steve Berline is my #3 quarterback.
You dotted our head. Yes, yes. Art, you're right.
We have multiple fouls against the receiving team. We have a post-possession foul, illegal block in the back by number 67, and we got a personal foul. I'm sorry. We have illegal block on number 43 during a run back. We penalize all to 10 yards. Number 67, this is a post-possession foul. It will be 1st and 10 after the enforcement.
So they mark it back to the 21.
There it is, right from behind. Oh, Jake.
On a fair catch. What's he blocking for anyway? And then the scuffle that ensued. And now we have a timeout with 10:44. Or do we? Let's hold it.
But there isn't room for any personal differences or fights or individual things right now. The Raiders have to be a precision football team at this point. This other stuff, they get lucky with it.
Post-possession foul. After that, during the dead ball period, we had offsetting personal fouls. They offset at the dead ball spot will penalize only the post-possession illegal block in the back. After the 10-yard penalty, it's 1st down.
That should have been a 15. That was pretty close to a good old-fashioned clip, wasn't it?
It sure was. But the Raiders were halfway forcing it there, because how would they know this would happen? Dude, that kind of stuff, there just isn't room for it when you're going for the championship.
Now the timeout. 10-minute ticker. Warren Moon has just thrown a TD pass to Ernest Gibbons, 2 yards to tie it at 10. San Diego still leading 24-10. Tolliver to Anthony Miller, a touchdown there. Phoenix has just scored, so it's 17-13 Indianapolis. And 14-13 Dallas over New Orleans on an 8-man pass to Johnson. Elway on 1st down. Goes to the tight end again for just a couple of yards. Clarence Kay on a slant to the sidelines. Well covered by the Raiders. Mike Harden.
This guy Harden is really tough. The Raiders are tough. But I don't want to harp on it too much, but that fight situation just a minute ago, you don't want to let the officials decide for you whether you're right or wrong. You just want to play the game.
A reminder at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's and NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game. There's one of the candidates, John Elway, on 2nd down and 7. Gets away from Howie Long. Alud Zolich gets away from Patel. And finally out of bounds, Jerry Robinson after a gain of 2.
He could have lost 20 on that one.
Elway, in the words of Howie Long as we chatted with him yesterday, and it was with as much empathy as a defensive lineman can have for a quarterback. Howie said, you know, he's hurting. I can just see it on the film. He's just not the same guy.
He calls him John. Like there's a fraternal feeling and a respect. But he can tell he's hurting, and he is. He's not having his kind of year, and he's just moving much slower than he's been.
8 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions for Elway this year. Now on 3rd and short. Pass is short to Mark Jackson, and Denver will have to punt.
Well, now's the time for Bo Jackson to take the game over. just for the Raiders to consume time and ram it down Denver's throat. This was the time to do it.
So one interception.
They don't want to lose field position. Once they get this punt, if they give it up again, Denver should get it inside their 10. The Raiders have to think of it that way. Just ram it right at them.
You saw Elway lead. The one interception by McDaniel led to the Bo Jackson touchdown, which is the difference in the game, 14-13. The left-footer Haran sends up a soft spiral and a fair catch. Tim Brown at the 38-yard line of the Raiders.
Look at another fight, Dick, down below us. What are they doing? There's so much on the imbalance, and these guys are ready to fight people. That was Lionel Washington, an excellent player, but why have confrontations? Get off the field, let your offense come out and win the game for you.
Timeout with 9:19 to go in the fourth quarter. Raiders 14, Denver 13. That's 19 seconds to spend to stay with Kansas City in the AFC West. 7 of the 14 AFC teams starting today tied for first place. Well, Cincinnati's moved ahead of Pittsburgh, maybe Houston in the Central, Buffalo ahead of Miami in the East. And now the Raiders, can they stay with Kansas City, and can Denver stay with Bo Jackson? The answer is no. Bo has another.
That's like Muhammad Ali or something. So fast and so sharp and hit so quick that you stun the guys trying to tackle you. You see him starting right. He looks like he's in trouble, but look how hard he hits people. He's just so quick. Look at that burst, banging into people. This explosion. He's really beating the defenders to the punch. That's the greatness that this guy has as an athlete.
62-yard touchdown, barreling through the defense. Bo Jackson, who now has 99 yards and just 8 carries today and a couple of scores. Big extra point to give the Raiders the 8-point lead, and it's blocked. Very big play. So rather than leading by 2 touchdowns or more than a touchdown, Denver stays within 7 as Wyman Henderson, it appeared, blocked the extra point on a bad snap.
Handle of the ball. It looks okay. The snap's a little far inside, but it just wasn't handled. It's that simple. It wasn't handled.
So that gives Denver hope. A touchdown extra point would tie. 9 minutes and 4 or 5 tackles on the way to give the Raiders a 7-point lead. They could have had an 8-point advantage, but on the handling of the snap on the extra point, some loss of time, and Henderson blocks for Denver. Blake Ezor, the rookie from Michigan State, lets it go through for the touchback. And let's go back to the touchdown. Something to appreciate. Jackson like a bowling ball.
He does a beautiful job. There's some excellent blocking here, but you'll see him break and then break a number of tackles and then use his speed. It's just a beautiful job all the way. Fine blocking by Wright, coming off as a right tackle and doing an excellent job. And then breaking the, he hits so hard, he actually stuns the tackler.
6 men had their hands on him. Now, mind you, 3 of them were barely a pad, a touch. But those last 2 that took the blow as Marcus Allen, the first man there to hug Bo Jackson. That's one of the reasons why Marcus Allen is such a great value to any team. Does it all, including support of the team. Trailing by 7. And Humphrey to the 24.
Now Denver's going to have to come up with a big play somewhere to get a good part of this yardage. I don't think they can drive 80 yards against a Raider defense. So it's going to take a 30 or 40-yard play of some kind. Most likely, obviously, the forward pass.
The Broncos have not lost 5 in a row. They've come into this game 4 straight defeats. Have not lost 5 in a row since 1972, is it? 1967, 23 years ago. Always trying to get that elusive win. Not that way. It was Scott Davis flushing him ahead and Howie Long making the tackle.
Davis was the guy, Dick. Scott Davis came right up inside, and John Elway wanted to throw to his left, but Davis just took and pushed his own lineman right back into it. You see him there unleashed on Elway, with Elway nowhere to go. When they come inside like that on you, you can't avoid them. As this guy improved, and of course this one's a great number 75, but Scott Davis from Illinois is becoming more and more a major league football player by the week. Major league. Big, physical, dominating guy.
Now we're looking right at that tough front four on 3rd and long. Almost intercepted. McDaniel again with excellent position on Michael Young. And the more you see Terry McDaniel, he's going to get some Pro Bowl votes. The games we have seen McDaniel, he's played as tough a corner as anyone in the league.
And you know, coming out, people worried about his all-out speed, and they worried about his quickness, knowing he was a great hitter. But this guy's got everything.
So 3 and out again for Denver. That's 2 straight possessions. And Horan to punt to Tim Brown.
I'm sure the Denver defense is thinking, uh-oh, here comes Bo again.
7-point game. Good spiral, and Brown taking no chances. Fair catches the ball just about the same spot the last Horan punt at the 37. A 47-yard kick.
Job, if not throwing, is to look at the clock and take every second he can. Now there's Marcus Allen at the bottom of the screen, bouncing one man out, then going for another one. But Schrader's job now is to watch that clock and take every second he can off of it. It's down to 19. He should let it get down to 4 or 5 before he snaps the ball, but he's not going to do it.
Allen out on the right wing. Throw goes the other way and close to an interception. The flag goes down, but oh my. Willie Gault was the intended receiver. Henderson appeared to be going for the ball with Gault, but Gault with better position, and the flags fly.
Looked like they both collided just going for a ball. I didn't see any intent out there at all. Any intent to play anything but the ball.
Officials saw it differently.
Defensive pass interference, 24, first down.
That'll be a first down at the Denver 48.
You don't see anything. There's 2 people going for a football. Look.
And the contact was right as the ball arrived. So first down and a chance to chew up more time for the Raiders, who lead it by 7, 20-13. Bo with 2 touchdowns today.
Don't go out of bounds, Bo.
It took all but about 3 orange shirts to finally get Jackson off the field to play.
Boy, he can sense it right now. He's got Marcus sitting there to block for him. Marcus comes out on the safety man, Smith, and Bo bounces it all the way. But at this point, Bo shouldn't. There, he switches the hands. That's good. But going out of bounds, you almost have to start thinking about that now.
But the clock does run here and won't stop on the out of bounds until after the 5-minute mark. So Schrader still has 16 seconds on the play clock, so he can stand up there and look at the defense for a good time. Second down and 9. For Gault, that play has worked all day in front of Wyman Henderson. Plays it very loose on that corner, respecting the superior speed of Willie Gault, who now has 8 catches, 91 yards.
Well, earlier I was saying go to the pass. Now I'm saying I'd say go to the run. Take every second off that clock and don't take a chance with that ball bouncing off somebody's pads and giving up an interception.
Third down and 3. Short 3 at the 41.
Marcus has come out here as a flanker with both wide receivers at the top of the screen. Now he's going to have a safety man out here covering him.
Bo gets the carry. First down and more, easily to the 35-yard line. Let's quickly check the other scores, the late scores in the NFL today, as Los Angeles in control of the ball. And a 7-point lead. Houston, Seattle tied. San Diego by 14 at home. They go for their 6th win. Indianapolis and Phoenix, that game still in doubt. And Dallas by just 1 against the Saints.
That Dallas team sure improved in 1 year. They're going to really be a factor. They have a number of draft picks on that Dallas team. And there are those that would say trade a number of those and to get great players in the early or first round. So it'll be interesting to see what Dallas does as a method.
First down to Gault. Same thing. It's been 5 receptions. Gault gaining between 6 and 9 yards. 9 on that play. Henderson out there on an island. He has to play fairly loose because Gault would just fly right by him if he played too tightly, and Gault just goes out, stops. There's the pass. another big gain. And for Galt, probably a career game in terms of number of catches. 9 yardage he's had more. We'll check Elliot Kalb, check the annals and see if Galt's ever had more receptions in a game.
This is good for Schrader, unless still time to make a mistake. But Schrader has certainly shown us something today.
Well, that clock eats away. 4:45 left. Allen up the middle. Flags go down. That will stop the clock. Allen appeared to have the first down yardage, and Carl Mecklenburg now comes off holding his right arm. Penalty against the Raiders, and that is not good news. Oh, the devastation on defense for Dan Reeves' ball club.
72 offense, holding, 10-yard penalty.
Well, the Visalia Plum Farmer, Don Mosbar with the penalty, number 72.
Mecklenburg at the right of the screen, coming back to the inside and pursuing. And it could be a nerve problem in his shoulder. It appears more of that than anything. They call it a stinger, and it should get better pretty quickly.
It looks as if already he's holding it as if getting feeling back in his hand. 4:41. The clock does stop inside the 5-minute mark.
Again, Marcus is a wide receiver.
2nd and 10. Oh, Holmes looks like somebody
be careful.
tackled him. Hernandez makes the catch. No flag is down.
Now that throw was a troubled throw, Dick. Schrader threw that ball late, and 2 people went for it. Unfortunately, a Raider got it. But at this point in the game, there's no need to do that. There's really no need to do that, because you don't want to afford a chance for the other team to get a break or make a big play on you.
Denver has used one of its timeouts with 4:27 to go. Back to Mile High Country, Denver, Colorado.
Now you'll see Steve Wisniewski working on Holmes, and he's becoming a real pro. Holmes has beaten him badly, and he simply uses the old arm around the foot trick and gets him down. And the umpire couldn't see it because it was sort of walled off from both him and the referee. So Steve Wisniewski is becoming a true NFL pro.
3rd down as Denver has used a timeout. They need to stop the Raiders here and hope they can't kick a field goal. It's Schrader to throw. Fernandez trying the one-handed catch, and Randy Robbins breaks it up.
So easy to second guess from up here, Dick. I guess I'm starting to be a real analyst. But why throw that pass in this situation? Bo Jackson just made 5 yards the previous 3rd and 3, and he's hammering at the defense. The defense is banged up, and that pass could have got him in trouble, but also stopped the clock.
Jeff Jaeger will try a long field goal that will all but put it out of sight for Denver. But it's a tough one, 46 yards. He has the wind at his back, but it's a swirling wind. He missed his extra point on the last touchdown. But this one is boom through there, and the Raiders lead by 10.
Now that was a critical kick. That was one that can vault you into the playoffs.
Jaeger from 46. And the Raider lead is now 23-13. Elsewhere, other NFL action. For an update, let's go to New York and Bob Costas.
Well, Dick, it seems like only moments ago that Phoenix trailed Indy 17-6. Now they're in front. Jeff George back to pass. It's intercepted.
People just love that call. What is it? Wacky Funster. I've got to write that one down. What a play. Jeff Jaeger tees it up. Quarterback Schrader says, honey, we'll be home. Looks like we'll still be tied for first.
Just at the critical time, Schrader comes through. Just at the critical time, Galt gets a chance, and Bo makes the big play. It all fit together well for the Raiders.
Jaeger hits this one out of sight. They'll take the touchdown. By the way, Willie Galt does indeed have a career-high 9 catches today for 99 yards. His best yardage, 133, when he was with the Bears against Denver, by the way. Derek Thomas, who led the NFL in sacks with 15 ever since that record 7-sack day, is now tied. He didn't play today, by the way, in New England. Bruce Smith with a couple for Buffalo is now tied with Thomas. And Thomas, if he's healthy, will go against these Denver Broncos at home, and you'll see that Easter. Elway, complete. And out of bounds goes Michael Young at the 40.
It'll really be interesting to see if, well, I know Dan can do it, Dan Reeves, get his team back and get it back and ready for an arch rival, Kansas City, next week. Traveling in there to play. Denver's really tested all the way. And speaking with Dan, he's really concerned how they finish the season, how they feel about themselves in the offseason, because it's almost natural if this kind of thing happens to a team after all their success. Things go against them, but in a sense, it can bond them together, and they'll be that much better next year.
Underneath to Young, and that's out to the 49, short of the first down, with just under 4 minutes left. Elway will hurry his team up to the line of scrimmage. Need 10 in a hurry, or they'll lose 5 in a row, and you have to go back to 67 when Bob Scarpito and Steve Tenzie and Floyd Little were playing for the Broncos.
Offsides on the Raiders.
Well, that's a break.
That old trick that Townsend just pulled is, you know, that one's for the books. I mean, Townsend was behind, wasn't even on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and the ball was snapped.
A defense, 93 offside, 5-yard penalty.
Well, Greg was trying to take as much time off the clock, force Elway to wait, but you see he didn't get back quickly enough.
Into the neutral zone.
Now, some 20 years ago, that was really an effective way to stall and stop, right.
But once the ball is set and they've got a reasonable time, and Townsend stretched it in too far. First down. Elway. Is that ball? No. I was going to say that would have been a miraculous catch by Jackson. Laid out on the turf and still almost coming up with it in front of Elvis Toast Patterson.
The ball was thrown with Elway slightly off balance. He had to drill it hard, and still he almost got a catch out of it. Almost got a completion. Townsend is really hit by Wydell.
Townsend working on Doug Wydell, the second-year guard.
Wydell came out beautifully, just timed it, caught Townsend coming off another block. That's just part of the game. No, he's getting in a fight over that. That's just football.
2nd and 10. Elway scrambling. And Harden, his former teammate, makes the tackle at the 27. And Elway quickly up saying, get in formation.
Well, they're still in the game. He's got to hit a strike here in the next couple of plays, but they're still in it.
Elway with 39 yards rushing today. 20 on that play. This side, and Young heading for the sidelines, doesn't get out of bounds. Tackle made by Gary Lewis, number 21, the rookie from Alcorn State.
The Raiders are trying to substitute defenses now, and they may or may not get their people in and out quickly enough. Elway's calling the play at the line. That gave the Raiders a chance to do it.
On first down, inside the 20. Elway.
Oh, boy.
And that'll stop the clock.
The Raiders went to a 3-man rush, 3 linemen, just to zone off and slow Denver down so they couldn't get in the end zone so quickly. They're concerned now about the clock. So Golick is back in, and in Townsend, the key pass rusher, he's worn out. Maybe it's the altitude, because we are, this is a little higher than the Los Angeles Basin, so the air is thin, but he is worn out.
He's searching for some O2. Drago was the star of the Watts Wildcats in Pop Warner ball around the Coliseum in Compton, California, and went to TCU for his collegiate days, and was delighted to be drafted by his home team, the Raiders. Although his favorite was Dwayne Thomas. He said, I like those high kicking strides of Dwayne Thomas. He said, when I played, that's what I tried to emulate. You emulated Amos Alonzo Stagg. Isn't that what you tried to copy?
Woodrow Wilson.
At the 16 with 2:40 to go. Elway. Heading for the sidelines. Picks up some more yardage and stops the clock. Used only 7 seconds on that play. It's short of a first down by a couple.
Elway, the greatness of an Elway. There's Townsend on the sideline, I guess, getting a break and getting himself recovering, I guess, from all that exertion. But Elway, what poise, and what a true veteran to handle all that real violence down there, and to be thinking clearly, getting all the yards he could, then just stepping out of bounds.
Elway still has 2 timeouts. They're at the 8-yard line. Quarterback draw. Nope. Right there. Touchdown, Michael Young.
Now that was a shot. Did he get that in there? I thought Terry McDaniel was going to intercept it, and it got by him. McDaniel was inside the pass and still couldn't make a play on it.
8 yards on the throw by Elway to Michael Young, who gets his first touchdown of the season. Here's a man very ill. He was looking for IV help yesterday. Said he was so weak, couldn't sleep, stomach flu, and he's had a big game. The kick is good by Treadwell, and so it's a 3-point game. 2:29 to go. There's Young, not at all feeling well physically, although mentally, emotionally, his play today certainly encouraging. Young with 6 catches and 72 yards. His 6th gets him his first touchdown.
The Broncos are not caving in this game. You see good coverage, but excellent concentration. Particularly the Broncos are not caving in this week.
Now this is a credit to their coach,
right,
is it not?
It really is.
Now, Dallas beats New Orleans 17-13. For the Cowboys now, they are 6-7.
Someone like San Diego, playing as well as they are, could very well become a wild card.
Well, the crowd trying to help the defense here in Denver, a defense that is ranked very near the bottom of the league. Bo Jackson gets 6 yards, 7 yards. Whoa,
how did he do it? He had people up the field, and he had to go all the way around a guy. I didn't see the number that was in his way as he was coming out there.
You're going to let the time tick away to the 2-minute timeout.
I think Powers was coming up the field. Warren Powers, number 91. No, it's number 90. Holmes. He has to go all the way around that block. He's got people right there, and he still gets 5 yards.
And there's the 2-minute timeout. Denver has but 2 timeouts to spend. And the Raiders have found it tougher than they perhaps had planned. This Denver team, 3-8, forcing the action to the end, but 2 minutes to go. And a victory for Los Angeles will give them an 8-4 year and tied with Kansas City in the West. But first, 2nd and 4 at the 26. One more first down, and it'll be over. It's Bo to the 28-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 2, and no timeout called yet. Look at Reeves. He can't believe no one has called timeout. Nearly 8 seconds ticked away before the Broncos at that 2nd timeout. And with a break, let's pause for the...
No one was told on the field.
Here's the play, 3rd and 2. Denver stops him. They got a chance to get the ball in the field goal. First down, and it's over. Marcus Allen replaces Jackson.
They're going to throw.
And he don't make it. Ethan Horton was tackled just shy of the 30, although they're giving a very good spot. The spot is a terrific spot, and if it's on the 30, it's a first down, and Reeves tells it all.
It looked like well, we'll have to see. It sure didn't look like he'd advanced it that far.
Well, if it touches the 30-yard line, it should be a first down. His play started at the 20. If that knows the ball's on the 30, it's a first down. Nope.
It's 4th down.
The yard line's line. A little wiggle in the chalk there at the right spot. Let's see where he catches it and where the ball is when he's forward progress is stopped.
He just drives right out into the flat. Now he has the ball, but, well, they placed that very well.
Yes, they
because
did.
his body was past the line, but the ball never did get past the line. Well done by the officials.
Well, so far, the punting team has not come on 4th and inches. So the last time out for Dan Reeves. It's 4th and inches when we return. his offense on the field. If they go for it, well, it's only inches, but if they miss...
Here comes both. Now, they should be in a goal line defense. Like they're on their own 1-foot line. They should be in that defense.
Because if they make the first down, it's over anyway.
So they just should be like it, well, it is. It's like their own 1-foot line at this point.
Or is this just Schrader trying to draw them offside with a long count?
Yeah, they're in their goal line defense. This is an absolute risk and gamble if they try it.
Yeah, he's just trying to draw them offside. Yep.
Pretty well done by Denver, really was. They knew that it was most likely, but they had to play for it. Beautiful job.
So Art Shell wasn't going to say that would have been a major league risk had he gone for it.
Well, he probably never even gave it a thought other than exercising this, which they most likely practice 2 or 3 times a week.
Dan Reeves' team fighting like the master himself.
A punt return would be the difference. If you could get a 10, 15-yard punt return or more and get some field position.
No timeouts left for Denver, but 1:37 on the clock. It's enough to make this crowd shiver.
Now, interesting whether they go after the punt or do the best job they can to get a good return.
Vance Johnson will be the return man. Jeff Gossett is the punter. Two-stepper, rarely blocked. He was blocked this year by Kansas City, who got another one today at New England, which had an NFL record. Short kick, Johnson to the 40-yard line. Crunch there.
Now, Johnson handled that well, too. He knew he had to take a shot at a return, because every yard at this point counts. If you're thinking of a long field goal, every yard now counts.
Folks joining us here late in the East here, the late game still tied in Seattle. San Diego apparently tucks away number 6 in the win column. Phoenix by 3 against Indy, and Dallas has beaten New Orleans for their 6th win, the Cowboys. Here it's 23-20 and missed extra point, giving Denver a chance to tie with a field goal. No timeouts left, a minute and a half remaining for Elway. He's going big time for Johnson, out of bounds. Great catch, but he was out of bounds.
Nice throw.
Right in front of the Denver bench, and of course they all saw it with their heart. It appeared that he was clearly out of bounds. Another look.
Uh-oh. Looks like he got it, Dick.
Wow.
They're
How
going to
did he
look
get
at it
his
again.
feet?
It looks like he got it.
He looked as if he was 3 yards out of bounds.
They're going to have to replay that. It was an out-of-bounds play. Yeah, he got it, Dick.
Oh, my.
Now, if there's another angle that's different, but both those feet are in.
There's the ball. He's got control. There's both feet.
Both
oh,
feet.
my.
Yeah.
I can't believe
He did it.
He's right below us, naked eye. I would have agreed with the official. He appeared to be way out of bounds, and that is pretty convincing evidence. We'll see whether it's enough to overturn the call.
There's another look. He's got the ball
there.
Now he's got it, and there's both feet. Both feet dragged. No, he had it. That's a beautiful play, a beautiful throw.
And that's down where? Around the 40-yard line. Vance Johnson. And he says...
Now, that was a real pro catch.
Well, he's an artist, and if that wasn't artistic, you won't see a better catch. Tough play, a defender in front of you, and still have the capacity, the ability to drag those 2 toes in the field of play. It'd be a shame if he didn't get it, but I'm never surprised anymore. Of course, I would have called him out of bounds if I were the official, too.
Yeah, that's right.
26 yards if.
You've got 2 minutes, and they're taking a look, no question.
We have the reversal. After a few minutes of replay, they will complete a catch on the 33-yard line. First down.
Vance Johnson's effort is rewarded. First down at the 33.
Was that a beautiful throw and catch?
Now the limits of Treadwell basically, they'd like him to kick 45 yards or closer, which means the 28-yard line. They're now on the 33. They need at least another 5 or more. Plenty of time. There's the catch to Jackson to the 26-yard line.
The Raiders are going with a 3-man rush. At least they did the last 2 plays. And that's giving Elway some time.
Elway trying to run the ball. Oh, he saw trouble coming at the 25-yard line. Terry McDaniel, we welcome those of you who have seen Phoenix come back to beat Indianapolis 20-17. A remarkable effort by the 3-8 Denver Broncos here in Mile High Stadium. Dick Enberg and Joe Walsh, we welcome you. The Raiders were ahead by 10. This is Elway going for a first down. The Broncos have no timeouts left, and the clock is ticking away. 34, 33.
They've got to get up and out of there and get the clock stopped.
Denver.
Now they'll stop it to measure for the first down. They'll do that. They have to count on the officials to handle it. They're just stopping the clock to place the ball.
See Bob Golick taking a breather underneath the pile there, 79. And they may have to have a timeout for a measure. That could be. Oh, in the meantime, with no timeouts left, they can't just casually walk away from the ball, because the referee can wind it at any time. But I believe he's called time for a measurement. Just to recap, those of you who have not been with us, first half, it was Elway, a touchdown pass to Vance Johnson to give Denver a 10-7 lead at the intermission. Then Terry McDaniel intercepted Elway in the third period. It led to Bo Jackson's 11-yard touchdown run. Treadwell kicked a field goal to make it 14-13 in the fourth, and Bo Jackson rumbled first down. And now the clock will start as soon as they get the changing off the field to give the lead 20-13, but the extra point was missed. And field goal by Jaeger seemed to give the Raiders an unbeatable lead at 23-13, but Elway took his team down the field in a hurry.
They had to take a timeout. The Raiders took a timeout, Dick.
To cool Treadwell. But with 33 seconds left and a first down, Elway can play it, throw a couple more passes. And here is the touchdown throw to Michael Young. Oh, this was on this drive, the throw to Vance Johnson that was called out of play initially by the official on the spot. But look at the toes. A great effort by Vance Johnson that gave the Broncos the big play and the timeout out of bounds and positioned them for a possible tying field goal. But now with this timeout, Bill, 33 seconds, they don't have to go for the field goal now. They have a chance to throw a couple more passes, maybe even a touchdown to win it.
Well, they can certainly get a pass off that breaks to the outside. And if the receiver doesn't get out of bounds, he's got time to get up and stop the clock by throwing the ball into the ground. The Broncos trying to deny the Raiders their place atop the West, tied with Kansas City. A 3-8 team playing incredibly inspired. No timeouts left for the Broncos. Elway goes for, throws it away, man. Someone from Vail, Colorado caught that on their way to the slopes. What you have to watch out for now, Dick, is a holding penalty. Now, the umpire is just watching intently, as is the referee, and any kind of a holding penalty can knock the Broncos out of a field goal. So they've got to get the ball off quickly. You can't hold it like you did the last play. There's always that chance they can pull a holding penalty on them and take the game away from them. Art Shell's team has lost 3 of the last 4. That one win, that big win at Miami on Monday night. He thought this one was tucked away. Most everyone in the stadium did. There's that screen. Now he's got to stay. He stays in bounds. He's in trouble. 21 seconds. Always got to get up there and throw one into the ground in order to get the field goal unit on. Player down. And a Raider player is down, Bob Golick. And because of Golick's injury, that will help Denver. That's a double negative for the Raiders. A great player like Golick hurt, and then it also takes some of the pressure off Denver stopping the clock, and let's hope that isn't serious. He's holding his knee.
Delightful guys in the game. Wonderful man and been a great campaigner, but if he could have gotten up, he would have. He wouldn't have laid there unless he was hurt. That's exactly right. He's bright and colorful. Watch upper left here. Here he comes behind the play, 79. Looks like he just gets his ankle turned there.
Difficult to see, but I'm sure he'd prefer it be an ankle.
Golick who...
he's up, and he's walking. Okay.
41-yard field goal will be the attempt by Treadwell.
Now, Elway was really upset at the umpire. He didn't have a chance to talk to the referee because some time was off that clock when that whistle blew with an injured man there. So it looks like the Broncos lost about 5 to 6 seconds, which means one more play. But now they have to kick it.
Treadwell, very accurate. He doesn't have the strength of leg of some of the other kickers in the NFL, but tough, especially around 40, and this one has plenty of pressure attached to it. 41 yards. If he's successful, it's going to be overtime. If not, the Raiders back in first place. Bad snap, and the Raiders win.
Bad snap. That's all there is to it. That's the second bad snap of the game.
Incredibly for Denver, 3-8, the Super Bowl team from the AFC a year ago. Dan Reeves' team here at home, toughest to beat in the entire decade of the 80s at home. This is the 6th game they played at home. 5 of them have been decided on the final play of the game. Although this technically won't be the final play, the Raiders will run off one play and it'll be over. But that's how close Denver has been throughout the season, and another tough one to swallow as they lose their 5th in a row.
Well, that snap went right into the body of the holder. Take a look, and that gave time for someone like Robinson to come up and block it, but really the snap added about a second to the time it took to kick the ball.
And Scott Davis celebrates. Jerry Robinson was the man who leaped high and got the right hand on it to deflect it. And Art Shell's team, a very tough, well-earned win here in Denver today when Schrader snaps. That'll finish it. Stay tuned here on NBC for our big Sunday night lineup. The final score, Art Shell's Los Angeles Raiders 23, Dan Reeves Broncos 20. And we'll return to Denver, Colorado.